Hello everyone, we're gonna talk about Skull and Bones, we're gonna have a discussion about the good and the bad and also what we want to see in the game. Hello and welcome to our brand new video. In today's video, we are gonna talk about Skull and Bones, a new game from Ubisoft that will be released this coming November.
Okay, so before we actually jump deeper into this video, I want to explain what is actually Skull and Bones. So Skull and Bones is a pirate-themed, actually an Indian pirate-themed game heavily focused on naval combat. In the game, you will be able to do treasure hunting, naval combat, resource gathering, cooking and crafting, and primarily exploration. Now, this game has been announced back in 2017 by Ubisoft at the E3, and in the video that we had previously, we had a very good example of how a part of the Assassin's Creed Black Flag could become a potential game, and that is obviously Skull and Bones. In the video, they have presented an alternative of where the whole combat and the action would happen, which is in the Indian Ocean, and obviously we got a little bit of a footage on how that game looked back in the days. Back in the days, it used to be focused on a third-person perspective, and it was very much similar to how Assassin's Creed Black Flag was. But because the audience was not really happy with how the game would actually look like, the company has decided to actually go back and decide to actually go with a different approach of the game. A few years later, we're presented with a new style where you play in a first-person perspective, the graphics are enhanced, we have an open world that we can actually explore and do all kinds of other pirate cool stuff.
Well, despite of all the features that Ubisoft shown to us in the video, there's a lot of people who are actually very disappointed about the game, and it got to the point that it got really so much that they started comparing it with Sea of Thieves, which it has its own uniqueness when it comes to a pirate theme game, while this game has the same as well, has its own uniqueness because this one is mainly focused on naval combat. Skull and Bones draws inspiration from many of the people love, which is Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and they're kind of disappointed because there are some features there that Ubisoft didn't actually implement in the game, such as boarding ships and exploration on foot, which we actually don't know. Yeah, some parts of it, like for example, when you board the ship, it goes to a cutscene, which is kind of disappointing, and we wish that it should have been there. And also the melee combat, which is not implemented in the game. So let's go back in 2017 E3. They showed there a demo or a gameplay of the game, and I find it shallow because they just really showed there just a naval combat. There's no added features that they show over there. Even in the trailer, I find it kind of sketchy because it's just full cinematic, and when they don't show that much of a gameplay, it is something to be worried about. But on this one, the newest video that Ubisoft showed right now is completely different. You can feel that they added a lot of things there that players will like. There's a lot of added features over there. Even though it is not Sea of Thieves, there is still some things there that I am pretty sure a lot of people are gonna be hyped. So why am I saying too much about Sea of Thieves? Because I know a lot of people are comparing Skull and Bones with Sea of Thieves. In every YouTube videos that I've watched, in every comments that I've seen, I only see people comparing it with Sea of Thieves, and I am not really okay with it. It's really unfair because, as you guys may know, Skull and Bones is heavily focused on naval combat. Yeah, they have exploration and stuff like that, but they don't focus on something that a player will put so much time in it. They focus on player who doesn't have enough time or don't want to put so much time just doing all those stuff like in Sea of Thieves.
So what we're trying to say by this is that it's much more objective focused. Therefore, if you have a quest or a mission that you have to do in order for you to increase your infamy, you have the possibility to focus on that, and that's basically it. Because the game is more focused on fast pace and cutting down your time, a lot of the problems that some people have is the fact that resource gathering might be be a little bit too rushed. And to be honest, I think it's actually a good idea that they're trying to rush it, because you do not want to actually waste your time trying to cut down trees and collect whatever items and resources that you actually need, and just making it more tedious and boring in between. So the whole aspect of collecting and gathering is actually much more rushed and simplified, which makes it in such a way that the main focus is the action of the game, and that's where it shines the most.
To be honest, I'm thinking that this is a really good feature, and for this game that actually focuses mainly on naval combat, they don't have to implement these features where you manually chop down trees, gather resources, because it's gonna be so grindy and it will take a lot of time. And for me, I don't want the game to be time consuming, because you don't want to spend so much time just gathering resources and you don't have enough time to focus on other things. And I also want to add one thing. This is not a survival game where, like in other games, where you actually really need to gather resources just to feel that survival. But on this game, it's not like that. So adding features like that is not really necessary could really hurt the game, to be honest. There are a lot of things that they could add as a quality life for the game. But this one, I don't think it's a best choice for them to add.
Yeah, you could actually say that, but you also have to imagine the fact that the map is gonna be enormous. So having the possibility to actually meet other pirates and fighting over the resource may be an interesting scenario, to say the least. But that is not actually the focus of Skull and Bone. That might have been maybe with Sea of Thieves, but not particularly with this game. And that's okay. I mean, we don't have to have all pirate games to copy the same principle of exploration, resource gathering, and, you know, food combat and treasure hunting.
Yeah, because even in Sea of Thieves, they don't have this gathering resources that you actually chop down trees. They don't have that. You just loot from the barrel and you will see some lumber there, so you can actually repair your ship, and that's it. And you can also get from the barrel those fruits that you can actually use to restore your health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you cannot actually compare the way the resources are actually functioning in both games, because they are totally different. I think that the game might be good for people who want to jump straight away into action and not actually wait around and waste their time with tedious work.
Now let's talk about the UI. I know this one become really like a meme troll when it comes to gaming community, and I don't know, I'm not really siding with it, because I saw the UI here in Skull and Bones and I can say that it's good. I mean, there are some people who is actually complaining because it's too big, the UI, but for me, if that's the only problem that you will say, because the UI is big, you can scale it down in the option. That's why option exists. Option is not only for graphics but also in other things that you can actually manipulate, so you can better adjust something that you don't like.
And if this feature is not yet available, well, people are actually going to request it. We might see it in the nearest future.
Yeah, hopefully if developer is gonna listen to what the community wants.
Of course.
And also, let's talk about the treasure hunting. I'm starting to think as well that what's the point of treasure hunting if you cannot walk on foot like in every island? And what's the point of all of those? I hope that we are wrong. But if you think about it, there's no point for them to put treasure hunting if you cannot actually explore it by foot.
Especially if you know that you have maps that actually help you and guide you to find those objectives.
Yeah, because as you can see in the video, they show over there a map with X on it.
I mean, we could draw speculations that maybe you would actually use your spy glass to actually find the treasure on the map, and from there on it would trigger a cinematic. It is a possibility for that. They don't really show how the actual treasure map works, but I believe that there's a possibility that we would be able to board the location that we're trying to explore, and from there on maybe a cinematic rolls out, or we are actually discovering the whole treasure ourselves. We actually seen in a Reddit post which was leaking a few other extra footages about the game game.
Yeah, it was 3 months before this actual trailer has been released.
Yes, and it was containing the same script that you see in the original Skull and Bone trailer, the gameplay trailer that is available on YouTube. They had the same words and everything, it's just that they would show a little bit extra details, which we'll be showing as well in this video, so you can actually check and see for yourself.
We all know that a lot of us are expecting a lot of things that should have been in Skull and Bones, and we have also a list that we wanted to see in Skull and Bones in the future. Hopefully the developer listened to the community and eventually implement it in the game. So a lot of us were really hoping about you're able to board the ship and not just a cutscene, and so you are able as well to explore your own ship, which is gonna be nice, because what's the point of the whole ship if you're not able to explore it? Since I found out that you can actually add some furnitures there, what's the point if you are stuck in
just manning the ship
Yes.
as itself? And obviously having the possibility to choose between third person and first person perspective, I think it's a really cool thing, and it's a really cool feature. Back in 2017 we were able to see it like that, so people who actually enjoy to see the first person, they could choose the first person, while others, if they prefer third person, they can choose that. Obviously what we're also desiring is melee combat, that being on the ship when we're trying to board another ship, and also if we're going offshore and we're trying to explore islands and other parts of the map.
And there's also, I haven't seen anyone yet who's actually wanting this to be in the feature of the game. We wanted to have interaction with your crew, which is gonna be like added quality life in the game. Makes you feel like that your crew is there and not just some sort of slave, whatever you wanna call it.
Or mindless NPCs that just follow commands.
Yeah.
Being able to create relationships with them is essential, because then you put more sentimental value when you're in conflict, and I don't know, maybe you will have some of them that you can actually name or just simply customize. In that way you have a lot more sentimental value with your crew.
Yes, and we know that we need to actually look for the morale of the crew, but I feel like I wish that there's more into that, and they just don't want to show everything because they don't want to spoil the fun for us.
And lastly, having the possibility to choose or promote a crew member to become your right hand. Obviously, we've seen through the footages you have a right hand which actually coordinates the team. Normally, I've seen him sitting on your right side, so I believe that's the one particularly, but having the possibility to choose who you want them to be next to you gives us more options, and I think having that in the game, it would really be a fine touch. Okay, so our final thoughts on this one is that we're looking forward that this game is actually gonna deliver on a great pirate experience. Obviously, there will be people who would actually dislike this game because it's made by Ubisoft. We're not being biased by the fact that it's made by any particular company. We're just looking for a more in-depth pirate experience that we haven't seen in Sea of Thieves or any other pirate game.
And let's be honest, guys, we only have, for the moment, that at least I know, we only have one pirate theme game, which is Sea of Thieves, and we needed more pirate concept, to be honest, more options for us to play. And I think condemning the game just because Ubisoft made it, it's so unfair. I feel sorry for the developers who put so much hard work, a ton of hard work for this game, and I think they deserve some appreciation from all of us who love pirate games, and not condemn them more, because it's just really too much.
And also, we have to keep in consideration that not everybody who wants to play this kind of game has to play Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Oftentimes it's compared with Black Flag, but let's be honest, not everybody enjoys to play that series or want to go back just to play the old type of naval combat that it was over there. And if there are people who are actually interested in a naval combat of this kind of style, they can actually pick it up, because it's a section or a slice taken out of that game which was interesting, and you can actually pick it up and play it, which is not a really bad idea in my opinion.
Also, I want to add, when you see someone who is actually hype about the game, let's try to be respectful with their decision and not try to manipulate them just because you don't like the game. Because what I've noticed actually happened to me a while back when the video for Skull and Bones just came out. I said there in one of the comments of other YouTubers' video is that I am very hype about the game, and I noticed there are a lot of people, well, kind of a lot of people trying to manipulate me and say that just play Sea of Thieves, and they are trying to put me in a way that I should be disappointed about the game as well. So let's try not to be like that and just be respectful, because not everybody hates the game. There's some things that I find it really interesting, and I'm happy that it's there, that other people may not like it.
Yeah, respecting one another is essential. I know that oftentimes as a gaming community, we tend to try to be against one another, and just because other people have a different opinion, that doesn't mean that we need to tell them otherwise. Everybody has their own choice. Everybody has their own preferences of what genres of games they will want to play and what themes of other games they want to play. And if we can work together and support one another, I think that at the end of the day, all we're gonna be left with is gonna be with another pirate themed game that we may or we may not enjoy, but at least we can give it a chance and see what this game could actually become.
Yes, because this game didn't even came out, but the amount of negativity all over the internet is just too much. We are not giving this game a chance to actually see what actually it's all about, and we might find a lot of fun stuff in this game, even though it's not Sea of Thieves or any other game that contains pirate concept.
And it might be just for a niche base if you think about it. It doesn't have to always be something that everybody is gonna be interested in playing. Not every game is for everybody in the end. So what do you think about Skull and Bones? Are you excited about the game or you're disappointed? Are you looking for something else in the game? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this kind of format, this has been something really different that without actually, discussing. But if you do like this kind of video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We're almost there to hit the 500 count. We're probably already there. So we really appreciate it for everybody who has been subscribed to us and has been showing a lot of support. Thank you so much.
And also, please everyone, please be kind to one another, and we don't want to spread hate towards everyone. We don't want to spread hate to the game. We are neutral in this game. We just say our own opinion, what we think it is, and what are the things that we don't like in the game. But at the same time, as I've said, we are neutral in this channel. We don't want anyone ranting all over us or fighting one another in the comments. Just say your opinion in a nice, kind way.
Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. My name is Vashal.
And my name is Armea. Thank you so much everyone for watching. This is Telplay, and we'll see you guys again on our next video. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.